Good afternoon. Today on Business Success in Six with Stacie, I have Tim Garland here from Garland Alliance in Kenosha, Wisconsin. Tim, thanks for jumping on with me.
Hey, thanks for having me. It's
It,
looking forward to it.
it's my pleasure. And by the way, I love your colorful tie. Kind of shares a little bit about what you do. So if you're okay with it, do you mind if I ask about Garland Alliance and your business?
Not at all. Let's get started.
All right, here we go. When people ask you what Garland Alliance does, how do you describe your business?
Wonderful question. And I've been noodling over that for 22 years. Uh, I've got background in the pure design industry, Stacie, in landscape architecture, as well as the design build industry.
Okay.
So what I've done is I've created a business model that provides the best of both worlds. It's the perfect marriage between pure design of landscape architecture and design build
Okay.
in landscape architecture. Uh, so for example, my my main service is design driven. Um, that's my passion. Is the design process, and then after construction, designing, continuing on into the built environment. But I'm not like a design build firm that ultimately has a tendency to push product rather than design. So I'm very passionate about landscape architecture. And so I bring to the table the best of both worlds. And it's a great business model, and it's very flexible. And I can do very tiny projects, and I can do very large projects.
Wow, that's awesome. Thank you for sharing that. So, what were your plans when you started your business and how have they changed?
Well, when I first started my business, it was kind of abrupt. So I put together a business card, and I wanted to just focus in on design only. So I had a client base that followed me,
Mhm.
and we started to work on pure design only. And then I had a client approach me and asking about ecological maintenance services on their property. So I thought, well, the recession was kind of here and things weren't going very strong.
Mhm.
So I kind of took a dive into ecological site management services because the people that I was recommending weren't following through on the service. So that kind of generated another spoke of my business model. And then instead of subcontracting out the work, I was able to get some part-time employees, and I actually started to do some of the installation myself with my team. And so from there, it's grown, and other aspects that have grown. I've done event planning. I have David Caruso from Dynamic Events. He will bring me in on particular projects to help him in his whether it's a marriage, whether it's a fundraiser, et cetera, et cetera. So my business has continued to evolve over time, and I I really pride myself on really having a wide spectrum of services, Stacie, and it's all client driven. There are no given expectations. It's all based on the client's needs and objectives and what they're looking for long term.
Love it. That's so important to actually stop and listen to the client and see what the demand is too. So very, very smart that you've done that and allowed your business to evolve like that through your
Hmm.
client. So
Thank
the
you.
third question I have is, what is the biggest way you impact the community?
Uh, I think I think it's my passion for not only for design, Stacie, but more importantly, making the connection back to nature.
Mm.
As I discussed earlier with you before we started to record this, I have as a tagline: as a species, uh, we're hardwired to nature from cradle to grave. Yet, as a species, we are getting further and further away from that. So, what I like to do as a business owner reconnect people to nature and to the wild. Uh, so I bring that, and it's um, what do I want to say? It's just getting back to nature because it has inherent healing qualities, and it's important for people's lives and their journey.
Absolutely. That is such a huge impact. And I'm so glad that you brought up the healing property to that, because science has shown that when we're outside in nature, we do heal quicker. And it's just such a safe, nurturing place for us to be. So thank you for doing that.
Yeah, and one of their special projects, Stacie, I'm a board member on the Elder Garden, which is a 55 year and older elder raised garden facility down in downtown Kenosha, literally right across from the marina. And I was the lead landscape architect. I donated my services. I'm involved with that on a regular basis. We not only have raised beds, but we have food forests. We have rain gardens. We have hugel gardens, pollinator gardens, and we've also we got a artist to do some design commissions. So we've got waves that replicate, Lake Michigan, because Lake Michigan is right outside my front
Sure.
window here. And then we actually had him design and install a bird's nest that
Wow.
is 12 foot in diameter, and you can walk in it and sit in it and pretend like you're a bird, but it's like
Oh,
getting back to nature. So,
wow.
big, yeah,
That's really, really neat. And you just brought up another point too. When you talk about pollinator gardens, you're actually impacting the ecosystem as well when you're bringing those the gardens back.
right,
So yeah,
yes,
I didn't even think about that. Thank you so
yep,
much.
yep.
The next question I have for you is, what is one challenge you have faced as a business owner that other business owners could learn from?
Uh, Stacie, I am I consider my business a very niche type business. I can handle a wide scope of projects, from a small back intimate garden to I've done developments, concept plannings for clients that have 160 acres, master
Mm.
planning. Uh, but I think my biggest challenge is employees.
Mm.
It's always been a problem, and I'm dealing with that now. In that since I am a niche business, I don't want to be everybody's landscape architect. I don't want to be everybody's quote unquote landscaper. I want people, I want clientele that understand the design process, understand nature, understand ecosystems, and that's who I'm targeting. And yet, employees have always been a challenge for me. And fortunately, I have a pair of brothers that have been with me for 10 plus years
Um,
that are just wonderful people. And I've had part-time gardeners that are just great. And uh, but now it's been hard. The last 2.5 years trying to find employees is tough, and trying to find AutoCAD people that help me out. But with that said, I don't want to work 50, 60, 80 hours like I used to. So th- I want people to have fun working with Garland Alliance Incorporated, and yet still have time for their families or their other interests.
Absolutely. That's really, really important that you say that. And you're not alone. A lot of people have shied away from working outdoors or away from the home. And I could see they could find a lot of value in what working for you, with you out in the
Mhm.
outdoors. So you are not alone though. What does the future look like to you? And do you have an exit plan?
Actually, the future is really bright, Stacie. But I'm 65 years old, so uh, I'm trying to limit my days to 4 days a week.
Mhm.
But as I told my wife, I don't see myself stopping anytime soon. because I have a lot more design work yet to do. And
Cool.
the way my business has been evolving, the way my design philosophy has been evolving, there's work out there that I still need to do, and clients that I still want to meet. Um, I look for long-term relationships with my clients, and some of my clients I've been working with since the mid '90s. So that's really important. So I think I do have an exit plan, um, but it's not going to happen soon.
Sure. Well, and I think you said two different words there. You said want and need. And sounds like you need and want to do that from a personal perspective if you enjoy doing it.
Yes, yes. And my design philosophy has evolved over time. I was very, very strong linear lines, and now it's more organic approach. And as I said, the pollinators, and there's a whole new approach, the wabi-sabi approach, the Japanese wabi-sabi approach, where it's okay to have things look a little bit shabby every now and then, but with the controlled human hand design wise, that brings in my passion of design into the ongoing product. Um, there's just a lot more to do.
Sure. Well, that's wonderful. So my final question for you today, Tim, is all subjects open. What inspires you most?
Uh, I guess nature, the resiliency of nature,
Mm.
um, and it sounds really, I don't know, quirky, Stacie, but I get inspiration from seeing really bad designs as I travel throughout the state and country. And it's like I just ask myself, and I throw it out on social media at times as well as, you know, why are we doing this? And case in point, as I said earlier on, let's reconnect with nature. Yet you drive around the metropolitan Milwaukee area and these developments that are going up. Just the other day, I was. You can edit this if you want, but
No.
I was at Bayshore Town Center, and it's only 13 years old,
Mhm.
and they've already torn half of it down.
Mm.
And what do they put up? They're putting up these 4 or 5 story high end apartments. And what's your view? Culvers,
Mm.
a parking lot,
The interstate.
and utility areas. And it's like, why are we doing this?
Mhm.
So I think that really inspires me to try to get out and get the word out, one client at a time. That uh, we need more and more nature back in our lives.
In the city, yes, in our lives, everywhere. Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
So
beautiful. Well, thank you so much for sharing that with me, Tim. Now, if somebody wants to get in touch with you, to work with you, to see your work, to work with Garden Alliance, what is the best way for Garland Alliance, excuse me, what is the best way for them to get in touch?
you can drop me an email at garlandalliance@gmail.com. You can give me a call on my one and only phone number, 414-688-1641. You can take a look at my website, www.garlandalliance.com. I have contact information on there. And please, if you do go to the website, make sure you take a look at a couple of the videos that I've done. They are just really fun and they were so enjoyable.
So exciting. It's exciting to hear that and see that as well. Thank you so much, Tim, for your time today. You stay warm in this winter weather and keep on designing. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you. Appreciate it.